why are we even talking about Roth, you know, and especially the IRA part of it so much here? Because during a seminar, when we're really, the primary focus is employee benefits, you know, employer-provided employee benefits. Well, it's important to be aware of this, what's happening in the IRA arena, because it can spill over and affect what happens in the qualified retirement plan arena too, the 401k plan arena. And in fact, it already has in this area too. There are small business owners who have, and others, you know, even non-business owners who have liked the idea of doing a Roth conversion, but they don't have, you know, that much money in IRAs. Their money is tied up in 401k plans. Can they do the same kind of conversion? Well, right now, under current law, you can't. There's no ability to do a conversion of pre-tax money in an IRA, in a 401k plan, and cause it to, you know, to be you know, a Roth money or after-tax money while it's inside the 401k plan. Now, if you're able to take your money out of the 401k plan, let's say you've terminated employment and you take your money out and roll it over to an IRA, then of course you can convert the traditional IRA to Roth and do this. But the money while it's in the 401k plan is that pre-tax money is going to stay there. Now, it's been true for a number of years though that many 401k plans have added a Roth 401k feature, which simply means that if, well, for those of you that make salary deferrals into your 401k plan, you can designate those salary deferrals as being on an after-tax or Roth basis. But that's as to money going in. There's currently no ability under the law to take money, pre-tax money that's already in there that went in on a pre-tax basis and transform it over to being Roth money or after-tax money. And that being the case, there are some small business owners who have talked about and maybe even acted upon terminating their 401k plans because they're so intent on doing this conversion. They'll say it's more important to me to do this that I'll just terminate the 401k plan, even though it might affect not just myself but any employees I have, terminate the plan, get all the money out in that fashion, roll it over to an IRA, and then do the conversion. Because after all, you know, I'm the boss here, and what I say goes, and I want to be able to do the conversion, and even if that means terminating the plan to enable me to do it, I'm going to do it. Word of at least some small business owners wanting to do that has gotten back to Congress, and so there is a proposal out there, a bill in Congress that was introduced not too long ago that would allow for, within the 401k plan, allow for conversion of pre-tax money to after-tax money in the same kind of Roth conversion manner that can be done with IRAs outside of a 401k plan. I don't normally like to put people on the spot, but I'm going to take advantage of the fact that we have Joan Gucciardi, who's really one of the nation's experts on 401k plans and pension plans and so forth. And Joan, you're pretty wired into what's happening in Congress and so forth when it comes to these things. Do you have any comments on this particular proposal and whether it might pass?
The last I heard from ASTA, from their Government Affairs Committee, was that they think it's a very distinct possibility. They're very optimistic that it's going to happen this year.
And is ASTA itself in favor of this proposal?
Yes, because it's really, you know, as you said, it's an alternative to terminating plans. I mean, the terminated plan, you basically have cut off employees at the knees in terms of their ability to do retirement savings. And I think ASTA is very strongly in favor of that.
Did everyone hear that that answer? Question here.
I would guess that in addition to what was just stated, that the government's got to be looking for any revenue they can generate that would create a pretty substantial influx of tax revenue that allows 401k money to convert.
That's a good point. Did everyone hear that too? That, you know, because the conversion is a taxable event and people then pay taxes at the time, you know, there is some attraction to government to allow these conversions to take place, and maybe encouraging Congress to pass this law that would allow conversions to take place within a 401k plan and not force people to take the money out of the plan to do it. Of course, it's when the governments run the numbers on these kinds of things, they're just as Wisconsin did, for example, in determining whether to change the law to take away the penalty, as they did recently. The numbers, there's a short-term tax revenue to the government for the year in which the conversion occurs, and maybe shortly thereafter. But But over the long haul, it's viewed as a kind of a tax loser, because these monies, once they are converted, people will never have to pay income taxes on them, either the money they put in or the earnings on it. And with compounding of earnings over the course of a long time, you have a lot of money that can build up in these plans that people will never pay tax on, either yourself or, again, if you pass it on to your kids would never have to pay tax on it either. So in the long haul, there's some tax revenue loss, but governments tend to be more focused on the short term than the long term, so that certainly points in favor of allowing these conversions to happen. Well, as you know, if you're in the 403B arena, if you work for a 501c3 organization or a school district, an employer that can maintain a 403B plan, the rules changed pretty significantly recently when the IRS came out with 403B regulations that require plan documents in situations where documents weren't required before. There's more. They make the 403B plans a little bit more like 401k plans. There's still some significant difference, but they make them a little more like 401k plans these days. There really isn't anything significant in the 403B arena that was important enough for us to even put it on our agenda today. So that's some good news, anyway, if you're in that arena. There isn't, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, well, we did last year mention that the IRS wants to do a prototype program for 403Bs. And I think that's moving along. I don't think they have a set date on when they want that to be available for people for vendors essentially to submit their model 403B plan documents to be approved.
Yeah.
But that's coming.
Yeah, what Tim is talking about there in terms of a prototype, in the qualified plan world, the 401k plan world, there's a whole program set up by the IRS whereby you get IRS approval of your plan. It's called a determination letter you get from the IRS. There has not been anything similar in the 403B arena, but they're now talking about creating such a program, which would make it easier for the 403B plan providers to be able to market those plans and say with assurance, this plan has been approved by the IRS. Right now, they can't really do that unless they go so far as to get a private letter ruling on that plan, which a few big providers have done, but it's costly and not nearly as slick as a true determination letter program.